Here's an unboxing video of Priority Joker. It is a track bike, lightweight aluminum, belt drive. I do have a little hole in the box from the shipping, a couple of them, but we'll see how that goes. I have opened many bike boxes and they are never, well, very rarely are they perfect. Okay. I am somebody who happens to have very long legs, so I went with the large frame. Short upper body, long legs. I always have to either go a size up or jack up a seat post. Yeah, no, everything is good. Parts box, and everything else looks empty. There you go. It's got deep V carbon rims. It's got the gates, hopefully CDX. Yep. Belt drive on it. Aluminum frame. Very light at about 16 pounds. Just my stand here. And yeah, we'll mount the seat post on it, put it up in a bike rack, and get started. I noticed in the seat tube a little bit of roughness where they welded it, and it comes with a carbon post, especially on the front side. So I have a half round file, and I'm just going to just get that rough spot. I'm just doing it lightly until it's smooth. It's not that big of a lip. And I can feel where the seam of the tube is. Always check the seam. Yeah, when you go to put your post in, if you twist it, if there's any burrs, it'll just start scratching the hell out of it. So I just like to deburr those areas. Feels pretty good. Always kind of wipe it out. And before I ride it, I'll take the seat post out and I'll apply some carbon paste, which is basically a gritty, it's a grease that you stick on carbon seat posts, and it has kind of a grit to it. It helps the carbon seat posts from sliding, because a lot of carbon seat posts want to slide down, but with the carbon paste it gives a good grip and you run into less issues with it. Yeah, with it sliding down. One of the things I like to do is if the slot's here, I like to take the clamp and I like to reverse it to the other side, because what happens is the opening of the clamp, sometimes if you have to clamp your seat post tight, it'll actually push the wall in against the carbon, so it's better to offset it. And this one is on there tight. Okay, let's do this. There we go. It may not look as pretty, but it won't damage the frame, and you won't get you won't get the two openings here pressing into your seat post. I'm not going to clamp it in all the way. I don't even care if the seat's tight. I just wanted enough to build the bike. So that'll do. It's not too bad. Now we just need to snug everything up. I usually like to get the bottom part level with this, and that's fairly close. And but with these bars, it'll depend. I'll ride more up top. Most people do. So once I'm on the bike, I'll see how it feels riding up here. The width feels pretty decent. It doesn't feel too narrow, which is good. All right, let's see what's in the parts box. Alloy basic pedals. Not horrible. I won't use them, but if you were going to put like fixed gear straps, these would work. Actually, they probably work for toe clips too. So, cool. And 3/4 reflector. Oh, nice. Touch-up paint. They didn't give me any black touch-up paint, but white, I'll take it. And here, this is actually amazingly nice. I've never seen this from a bike company before. An actual 15mm wrench and the 2 Allen wrenches you need to build it. So I didn't even need to go get my tools. I should have just opened this first. And of course your owner's manual. It even says chrome vanadium, so it's actually real. It's an actual real wrench. I've seen some wrenches that have come with bikes are those pressed steel skinny wrenches. This is actually legit. Yep, real wrench and real tool material. Oh, I'm actually very impressed. That's cool. All right, that's pretty much where we're at. I'm going to end up pulling it down, tightening everything. The tension on the belt feels fairly high, which is probably not a bad thing on a belt drive, but I will check the tension. There's a phone app for Androids and Apple, and you can see the center track right through there, and then on the cog there's a center track. So as you're pedaling, it keeps the belt from sliding off either direction. The front cog here is aluminum. Let's get it out of the light. There we go. There we go. And the back is a steel cog. It's running I think it's a 3.1 ratio, so it's bigger than what I've been running. The dropout is long enough, and I know they offer a little bigger cog, so if you want to get it under 3.0 you can. Disadvantage to a belt drive is if you want something like a 2.5, 2.6, you're going to end up having to get, of course, a different cog or chain ring and maybe a different length belt, because you can't take them apart. It's all one piece. And right here is where the frame splits to put the belt in. So you would loosen these, and then the frame splits right there so you can get the belt in and out. So you kind of have to have a special frame. So there's definitely disadvantages. Another advantage that I found when I had my belt drive mountain bike is when you go to step on the pedals, you really never notice on a chain bike, but the chain grows a little bit as you go, so there's a little hesitation. Anybody that rides a regular bike, you don't really feel it. It's just the standard feel of a bike. But when you're on one of the carbon belt drives, there's such a direct feel. And on a fixed gear, like when you're doing track stands and stuff, you're never going to have to worry about your chain being too loose. Some people are really used to doing it with a loose chain, so this would probably throw them off. But if you're somebody who likes to keep your chain a little on the tight side, you'd really like a belt drive. The bar tape, they did a really nice job. I found out that the 174 Hudson logo, that's their address. At least that's what I've seen online. Deep dish carbon rims with Goodyear Eagles. I think that's kind of cool because Goodyear's fairly new to the bicycle tire world, but hey, they're a tire company. I'm sure they know what they're doing. All right, let me go get some pedals on this, snug everything up, and yeah, and then I'll give it a full look around in better lighting. Here's my Priority Joker all built up. Here's the front logo. Here's the tires. You can see that it's got nice deep dish carbon rims. This is something I think that's a nice touch. A lot of axle nuts, the axle comes straight through. This has the acorn nut, so it's, I'm sure it only cost them pennies, but it's still a nice touch. It does have mounts front and rear to put a brake, but I wouldn't recommend it with these rims because it doesn't have a braking surface. Yes, you could put one on it if you don't mind killing your carbon rims or at least scuffing them, but I'd recommend an alloy wheel set. The bars are pretty nice. They're not super narrow, but they have a really nice feel on the edge here. The way the ergonomics work is if I get the bottom level with the top tube, the top comes up a little, and I'm not sure if it's by design, but it feels nice to hold there. The rear hub, there it is a flip-flop, so you can buy the two-tooth bigger cog, stick it on that side, and you'll have a lower gear. That way, if you want to get it under 3 to 1, 3.1 to 1, whatever it is now. I did add my Speedplay frog pedals. I made sure to torque these to spec, which I think that was half hour ago. I'm pretty sure it was around 12 or 7 Newton meters. I don't know, you have to Google it because I forgot. I noticed when I was building that these weren't super tight. I do have a chain ring tool, bolt tool, so that goes back here and locks in. I was able to lock them all down. I did get the chain tension right with my app. Yeah, there's an app for Android and Apple. You kind of strum it like a guitar string, and then it measures the vibration. It was kind of a pain in the butt, but I think I got it. Yeah, that's my priority joker. Oh, another thing is, with the belts, when they're new, once they're tensioned, a lot of times you'll get like a suction feel between here and then the grooves here. It's a matter of wearing. It'll almost sound like a ratcheting sound, like a th-th-th-th-th type of thing. Right now it's actually pretty quiet, but one of the tricks for that is some people put silicone spray. I'm not a big fan of doing that. I don't want to put any chemicals on the carbon belt, but yeah, they just tell you to put water on it, and that does work because I've had 2 different belt drives. I've had the original and the center track. Let's see, there it goes. That means there's a track in the chainring and a track in here, and it lines up to keep it from kicking off. But yeah, I've had that noise happen to both of my other belt drives, and basically water and a few rides and the thing ends up becoming a stealth bike, which is really nice. Yeah, so far I'm happy. I need to go take it for a ride. I feel that my Fuji, of course, will be probably a little bit more comfortable because the drop between the handlebar and the saddle, this is more of a race position. This is probably closer to a 5-6 inch drop, which a decade ago I'd be riding on all my bikes. But my Fuji is a little bit more level. It's only got like a 2-inch drop. And but my Fuji is set up as a city bike, and this is set up for me to be a hooligan and speed around like a speedster. So yes, I plan on riding them both for different reasons. Anytime it's a little wet, I'll definitely take my Fuji, the steel bike with the fender. I don't plan on putting fenders or anything like this. I plan on keeping it the way it is. We'll see. You know how it is when you're a cyclist, you'll ride it around and change things as you need. I have a rock pit behind me, so a lot of that crunchy noise you hear is that. Sorry for that. All right. I'll stop my shaky cam once I do this.